In your face.
What the hell is going on down there?
In your face.
Well. Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing? Great. I hope you guys had a good day. Great. So, Smackdown was a very interesting show. Yes. Now, we didn't have our Royal Rumble winners on SmackDown, but we did have a good show. Okay. So, let's start off where it started off. All right. The show opened up with Cold Cut King cutting a promo. And of course, Roman has two opponents that he has to worry about. Sami Zayn and, of course, Cody Rhodes. Now, it's Heyman's fault why Cody Rhodes is agitated. And if you don't know, what you don't know is a lot. You have to double back to Monday Night Raw to figure out why Cody Rhodes is agitated. It's Heyman's fault for poking the hornet's nest, okay? All he had to do was leave it at just a friendly little squabble between, wrestlers and may the best man win. But no, Heyman had to make it personal, darlings. So, here we are. Cold Cut King and all of his olive oil smelling glory was out there in the middle of the ring speaking on matters that I believe he should not have been speaking on. There are just some things that you should just keep your mouth shut about, especially when you can't be the one to back it up. You see, Heyman was out there all alone. There was no Solo. There was no Jimmy. There was no Jay. There was no Roman. So the bloodline was vulnerable. And Sami made it very clear, because Sami Zayn was there today. He made it very clear that the bloodline was imploding. And it was either going to start in 8 days at Elimination Chamber, or Sami was going to finish it in 8 days at Elimination Chamber. Now, of course, Heyman, he has to feel cocky because he's the right-hand man of the tribal chief, but he didn't have any protection. The bloodline still had no idea and or clue where Jey Uso was or if he was coming back. They didn't know. So everything was up in arms. Everything was questionable. Okay? Now, Sami did his job and made it very clear that he was going to take out Roman in 8 days. And, of course, the belts were dropped on the ground, face down. I don't know where Roman at. He might be at home, sleep somewhere. I don't know, but he was not there. And Jimmy was in the back trying to get a hold of Jey Uso. They ended up wrestling in the middle at the end of the night, but more specifically, I think they wrestled like at 9. They started wrestling for the tag team championship. I kind of figured once Jey Uso showed up that Braun and Ricochet weren't getting those championships. It just wasn't happening. So, unfortunately for those who wanted them to drop the titles, it is not happening anytime soon. The Usos are still the Raw Tag Team Champions as well as the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. They aren't going anywhere. However, this matchup did happen between Ricochet, Braun, and the Usos. Jay showed up at the last minute during the intros of the opponents and the current champions. They had a decent match, but ultimately the Usos retained their championship. Now, towards the end of the show, Jey Uso was seen walking away. And of course, Jimmy's just like, where you been? Like, we haven't seen you we haven't seen you in weeks. Like, what's going on? Why aren't you answering people's phone calls or showing up? And he like, Oos, look, I don't know, but I would never leave you hanging. You my twin. I'm always going to be there for you. He was like, what about Roman? Like, what about the family? He was like, I don't know yet. So there's still some limbo here between Jey Uso and the bloodline. There's still some wiggle room there. Now, what we also got between scenes was Sammy talking to Jey Uso. And Sammy says, look, I appreciate what you did for me the last time, but he said, you got to believe me, Roman's out of control. We can't keep going like this. He's abusive. And he's drunk with power and it's just too much. But he said, I respect you and you always going to be my fam regardless of what happens. I'm always going to respect you. I'm always going to be down for you. And he told him straight up, I acknowledge you. And then he gave Sammy some dap. Sammy asked for the dap. He gave Sammy the dap. Now, Paul Heyman been lurking behind the scenes on some Nikki Cross shit, trying to figure out what's going on so he obviously can have all the good news to himself because, of course, he didn't fuck up on TV Lab this week, right? He didn't mess up at all. I mean, he didn't get punked out by two of Roman Reigns' opponents. Absolutely not, He didn't do any of that, That was never it. That was never the case. No, nay. Absolutely not. Child. It's going to be very interesting to see how this all play out, but the bloodline is beginning to implode from the inside out, and it started with Sami Zayn, and it's going to end with Jey Uso or Sami Zayn, and I told y'all that it was going to go that way. Oh, it feels so good to be right. Any whoosies. We're going to move on. Lacey Evans had a match with a girl that looked like a grown-up version of Dee Pickles. And even though Dee Pickles is grown up, Tirza said the girl looked like Stephanie Turner, and I can't get that shit out my head. Oh my God. Tirza was in a group chat. Tirza said, why the fuck is Lacey Evans wrestling Stephanie Turner? And I lost it. That shit is funny. Girl, that was funny as hell. Oh my God. He ain't gonna get his. Not Kimmy Gibbler. Oh my God. I did not even think of the damn Full House reference. But y'all got it because she did look like Kimmy when Kimmy was when they was exercising Jared on that one episode of Full House. Kimmy used to always have that damn scrunchie. She was giving very much 80s. Lacey beat her ass though. She ended up winning, child. And that was it, honey. I mean, there really wasn't much to it. I mean, they gave Lacey a big showing. They keep giving her these type of build matches. So we'll see how that all plays out. We also got another women's match. It was a tag team match. It was Raquel and Liv going up against Sonya and Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green got accidentally punched in the face. Raquel came out there dressed like she was a mixture of Homelander, and she just looked weird. I don't know what was going on with her gear, but it was a lot of colors and a lot going on. And I believe that was her Rumble gear that she was wearing. It just looked odd. It didn't look attractive. It looked weird. And then it had that weird new mesh on it. Raquel just be doing weird shit is the best way to explain it. She looked weird. The gear looked weird. It was weird. But ultimately Raquel and Liv won. So yeah, Chelsea got in a match because they was bitching to Adam about not being included. Well, Sonya was bitching about not being included in the Elimination Chamber. The reality is she had just got a damn championship shot the week before. So it wouldn't be fair to have her compete in the Elimination Chamber as well after she just got an opportunity to get the championship on a different show. Like, no, go to hell. Okay? Like you always want something and don't want to have to put in no work to get it. And I just don't like the way she operates. She just is a petty ass bitch, just complaining all the fucking time. Like, girl, go touch some grass. Go touch some grass. Cause you're getting on my nerves. The Hit Row went up against the Banger Bros today. That match was a pretty much a squash match. It really wasn't much to that match. That was it. There wasn't really much to that match. The Viking Raiders did come out and basically say that this ain't over between us. We're going to take y'all out. So they still got to worry about the Viking Raiders. Valhalla had made a prediction or whatever. So they got to look at that. What else happened? Like I said, you had Heyman and them lurking around. Sammy was there, but he got ready. He left. And then the final match of the night, if I miss up, y'all can put it in the comments. Because there really wasn't much to SmackDown. It was just little stuff. Plus EC for all former champs. Now, actually in the Elimination Chamber, not all of them are former champions. Raquel technically isn't a former women's champion, but she was automatically put in because she was one of the last 4 women. She was one of the last 5 women in the chamber, including Rhea. So she was one of the last 5 women in the chamber. That's why they put her in there. But Nikki Cross, Liv Morgan, Asuka, Nikki Cross, Liv Morgan, Asuka, Carmella, and who else is in there? Let me pull it up. It doesn't, but that wasn't the reason why she was in there. That's what I'm saying. It has nothing to do with them being former champions. So if we're going to go by like former champions, then Raquel wouldn't be somebody I would consider to be in there. All of these girls are former champions on the main roster. Raquel is not. The only main roster title that Raquel had was the tag team championships. And that's it. Everybody else held a title on the main roster at some point in their careers. Natalya hasn't been recent. Natalya held the tag team titles recently, but she's not a former champion either in terms of the last 10 years. Well, yes, she is. She had the title before. She took the title off of Naomi. But, like, you get what I'm saying. Like, she's not a recent former champion, like, say, Asuka, Liv, or even Nikki Cross within the last 2 years. Those 3 have been champion of some kind. Carmella isn't either. So, Carmella ended up qualifying Monday to be in the Elimination Chamber, beating out Piper, Candice, and Mia. Raquel, Nikki, and Asuka and Liv were all basically grandfathered into the title match because they were the last set of competitors in the Royal Rumble. Natalya won her slot last week on Friday Night SmackDown. So for me, while the NXT championship is a championship, it's not a main roster belt. So I don't count that as a former champion. If that's the case, then Shayna Baszler should have been put inside the Elimination Chamber as well, if we're going to go for NXT titles. So, where was I? I don't remember what else happened. LA Knight did cut a little promo. We haven't seen Bray Wyatt since Royal Rumble, which is strange. I would imagine he would capitalize off of a win that he got off of LA Knight, and LA Knight just popping up like he ain't just get taken out by Uncle Howdy a few weeks ago. It's weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just strange. I'm very curious as to what they're going to do. But anyways, we got this fatal 4-way between these 4 guys. Madcap, Ray, Karrion, and Santos. All 4 in their own right are very much, I guess you could say, they've all could be capable of putting on a great show with Gunther. The reality is Madcap ended up winning. Santos and Karrion and Ray were fighting it out. Madcap was in the match some of the times, and some of the times he was out. Ultimately, Madcap ended up winning, dressed like his woman. She just pulled out a pair of her gear and was like, "Here, put these on." And gave it to him in a Ziploc bag and was like, "Here, wear these. When you look like a champ, you feel like a champ." I'm like, why does he have to dress like you though? Like, why can't he have his own gear design? Why does he have to dress like you? I'm so confused by that. But anyway, Madcap won the right to challenge Gunther next week for the Intercontinental Championship. And that's how the show went off, except for at the end when Jimmy was in the back watching TV. And that's when Paul Heyman comes in the ring, comes into the room really creepily and was like, "Yeah, I was talking to, your big cousin. And basically he wants you and Jay Uso to stay at home and watch SmackDown next week." And he says sometimes there are things you can see on TV that you can't see live. So I guess he was hinting at the fact that Jay Uso dapped up Sami Zayn or whatever, or the fact that Jimmy lied to Paul about Jay Uso saying whether he was gonna be down for the bloodline or not. Either way, SmackDown was a decent show. It did what it was supposed to. It set you up for Elimination Chamber next week. Now, next week, well, we also got a segment with Natalya. Now, Natalya came out there in the same outfit she had on Monday. She just had on a different hat. I don't know what the issue is with the hats, but it's just okay. She had on a hat, pink hat, and all black everything. Black shawl, black furry shawl. She had on black short one piece, and then she had on a Gucci belt and black knee high, thigh high style boots. She being real extra. I mean, the titties is up to her nose. She got her fillers in her cheeks. Her lips are oddly shaped. I just need her to let that knife go. Like, let that knife go, babes. Let the knife go. Let the needle injections go. Let all that shit go. Because you're doing too much. You're just doing too much. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on with her. But she was out there basically talking about how she took Shayna Baszler's opportunity from her because she ain't nothing but a knockoff Ronda Rousey. And Shayna Baszler came out there and was just like, "Look, I'm sick of y'all shit. Okay, I'm tired of y'all not acknowledging me for who I am and constantly making me out to be like I'm Ronda Rousey's bitch or something." She was like, "I'm sick of." She's like, "I'm still one of the, if not the most dominant females in this division, and you're not going to disrespect me and my accomplishments." Which, to be fair, she is 100% correct. What are you doing? What you doing?
Oh, I better keep my eyes on.
Anyways, here. She came out there and she called Ronda came out there behind her. She thought she thought Ronda and her was gonna fight because she said she been saying the same. What she said was the real shit. Shayna was like, "I was wrestling before Ronda. I was doing my due diligence all around this wrestling scene in the WWE and out the WWE before Ronda." She said, "Nothing about Ronda Rousey is me. So let's just keep it at that." She was like, "Y'all need to mind y'all business." Get off my ass. For real. Ronda came out there and it looked like them two was about to fight, but they didn't. It ultimately ended up them attacking Natalya for causing all this drama. And then that's when Shotzi came out and Shotzi attacked Shayna and they was fighting, but it was too much for them. So she ended up being overpowered and they got beat up. Natalya ended up with her arm being slung all over the place and she was thrown out the ring. And it looked like Shayna and Ronda are going to be a tag team, or at least that's what they're giving at the moment. And that is what Tirza said they was going to do. So shout out to Tirza for that one. Anyways, I still want my Shayna versus Ronda match. I don't care what anybody says. But anyway, What else happened? So they scheduled a match for next week, and it's gonna be Shayna and Ronda versus Natalya and Shotzi. Okay, that's the first and only match announced for next week. Roman is obviously supposed to be on SmackDown next week. It's a SmackDown before a pay per view, so they definitely gonna be there next week. It's gonna be interesting, I guess. All right, y'all wilding. Anyways, that was it. SmackDown wasn't a heavily. It wasn't like a overly dominant show. It gave you little bits and pieces. Okay. Now Charlotte did cut a promo, and Char basically said Rhea Ripley is saying that she wasn't ready 3 years ago, but she ready now. She says that I put her in her place 3 years ago. She said, no, that's not true. She said, I taught her a lesson 3 years ago. Now I'm gonna put her in her place. And she said, if she's not ready now, she better get ready. I was like, well, Charlotte got a point. I mean, she did say sis came after me. She came after me first. I was just living my best life as Royal Rumble winner. And then she come out talking about challenge me. You ain't gonna beat me. Then when I beat her, she all in her feelings. But she did tell her, she said she was green and she wasn't prepared, and she definitely didn't have the chops to come up against me, which she was right. She was 100% right. Also, Natty's outfit gave early June nepotism baby pride outfit. Wow, that's a that's a deep cut. Okay. Wow. All right, y'all. There wasn't much to SmackDown, and there ain't really much to talk about now when it comes to SmackDown. I just wanted to make sure I came on here and gave y'all the recap of everything that I saw. Okay, we got some nice little matches. You know, a little cute moment between Chelsea and all of them. Chelsea's funny. She's funny playing her part, so it was an interesting thing to watch. I am gonna go because I do not have anything else to talk about when it comes to this. I hope that y'all listen to the podcast because the podcast is up. We talked about what's it called? We talked about shock value and if shock value is necessary in wrestling anymore. So y'all can go head over there after the show goes off and y'all can go listen to it on the podcast. Y'all can listen to it on wherever you listen to it at Spotify, Apple, Google, Anchor, wherever you listen to our show, please do so. Okay. It is up. I have 2 of my own personal podcasts up, but the Down for the Count podcast is up, and all 4 of us are on the show. So you should definitely head on over there and listen to it. And of course, on my personal podcast, we got Am I the Asshole post, and we got a post coming up called The Bullshit is the BS is BSing, because it's just a bunch of stuff happening in the blogs and in on TV and just in the world in general. And I didn't have nobody else to talk to about it. So I was like, I'm gonna put it on the podcast. So the BSing is another segment that's on my podcast. And then we have Am I the Asshole post as well. If there's any topic that you want me to cover that's outside of wrestling, you gotta let me know so I can go ahead and research it and then talk about it. Other than that, check out the KTT podcast on Spotify as well as Down for the Count. It is also on Spotify. Okay. I will see you guys in my next one. I don't know. I may go live on Monday. I may go live on Saturday. I'm not sure if I don't have anything else to do. But for now, I'm going to call it a night. Y'all go ahead and go on and get y'all a little snack and go lay down. I'm going to play Hogwarts for a little bit. I might stream it. I'm going to play Hogwarts for a little bit, and then I'm going to go ahead and go to bed. Y'all have a good night. Peace.